Hola, en este vídeo voy a tratar de explicar mi experiencia en la visita a Islandia que tuve oportunidad de disfrutar en la última semana de abril. Ha sido posible gracias a una movilidad KA1 Erasmus Plus en la modalidad de visita de estudios estructurada a escuelas islandesas. La idea es que podáis sentir lo que mis ojos vieron, lo que mis oídos oyeron. Lamentablemente no puedo mostraros lo que mi olfato captó, lo que mis manos palparon, lo que mi boca saboreó, aunque trataré de explicarlo. Para mostraros el entorno real vivido, voy a usar como lengua la que sirvió de lengua vehicular durante esta experiencia, el inglés. En un documento aparte explicaré en nuestra lengua materna las ideas generales, conclusiones y propuestas. Espero que disfrutéis y nos sirva para mejorar nuestro entorno educativo. The course started on Sunday at 5 p.m. Many mates met on the same bus. The picture shows that we had just arrived at the school, which was the meeting point by Tascoli, and we began to introduce ourselves to each other. Hi, where are you from? What's your name? What an amazing place to visit. The organizing company director introduced the program. He emphasized that 70 different countries were going to participate in the program. Wow! It was the ideal scenario to make contact and practice the language, and of course, learn about Icelandic methodologies. The portfolio, our week tasks to be handed over, had to contain this part. The first, reflective journal, we had to write 3 lines a day minimum, but the organizer didn't want a report but a list of things we had learned, i.e., not what we did, but what we learned. The second task is a study visit at the school and field project. 3 slides which must show: first, learning about school and education system, methodologies, ideas seen in our visit to Icelandic school that I would be able to apply to our subjects and in general in my school. The second, learning about culture and countries. Culture, environment, what the country and the places have offered me as a teacher. It is important to know the resources that the environment offers us to use in our classes, Northern Line, for example, museums, churches, Blue Lagoon, etc. And communication with language, vocabulary and expression, I learn, notice, or find out, which I would like to incorporate into my classes. And finally, the last slide was must be about dissemination. The organizer talks about the importance of dissemination of the program. He asks for us to think of ways to disseminate, to broadcast the learning. The organizer gave us some tips or ideas. The first, it is important to ask questions to our students and not to wait for a unique answer. This method forces them to think, to be creative, to construct their knowledge and explore solutions that may not be expected by the teacher. The second idea is that the Erasmus Plus spirit is open-minded sharing. Europe is inclusive. Improving our educational system is possible, and all countries can learn from each other. And finally, knowledge nowadays may be found on the internet. Students have access to it, and this information source is as true as the information that we can find in books. Teacher lessons are not necessary. Students must and can find information and ask their doubts to the teachers. The teacher role changes to be a conductor of the learning. Finally, we received information with more details about the program. The program had different parts: visit to school, field projects, and seminars. After a long trip, without any time to relax because of the beginning of the coffee in the afternoon, we finished the day walking along the coast. The relationships between European teachers started to become stronger. The weather, unstable, windy and cold, gave us a break to enjoy our first visit to the city. The picture is about a beautiful sculpture of a Viking ship located by the ocean near Reykjavik. The sculpture symbolizes the Viking past of the Icelanders and an ode to the sun. It is a reminder of the Icelandic history and heritage when the first Viking settlers came sailing there. Visit to school. The Baeta School head teacher started the next seminar on Monday. She talked to us about the Icelandic educational system. They have the following levels in Reykjavik: pre-schools, compulsory education schools, after-school programs, youth centers, summer activities, 4 school music bands, 18 music schools with financial support, and adult education. They focus on capacity building, integration of school and leisure for children from 2 to 12 years. They educate to get active citizens. Parents are happy about the academic results of their children, and students are also happy because of they learn and enjoy as well. Leisure is integrated in their program. It is compulsory to do optional activities such as sport, music. They offer up 70 different activities, and a student must do 7 hours a week in this kind of activities. The same teacher from the school teach these optional activities. Parents do not have to pay anything. Other characteristics: inclusion and equal opportunities, school and youth work evaluation, school and health. For example, in this issue, they make an individual monitoring and tracking of each student every week, but not only at school. Substance prevention among young people, parent involvement, parents are involved in the school, preschool are bridge between caring and education. Adult education, it is a second chain for learning, individualized and cooperative learning. Their students will be work in team at companies, like the same way as our students. So they make their school work in groups, not only individually. Creative schools, progress, skill and evaluation. They evaluate the process and not only the result, i.e. they are interested in how students did the project. Speech, occasional technical and artist learning, multicultural, and other aspect is how teachers work at the school. Each school decides the school program and may choose the teacher to be hired. The headmaster carries out interviews, selects the candidate, and he or she may be fired after the first 4 months. A seminar about island identity, images of Islandic society. The second part of the seminar was about the environment which educator and student live in. Volcanoes, tectonic plates, fishing, horses, cow, sheep's dog, hens, foxes, architects, falcon, inbreeding disease. Finally, we were separated into 4 different groups according to the profile requested for each teacher: primary, secondary, and the last one, vocational training and adults. We were free in the afternoon to have enough time to visit the city of Reykjavik. We could see different places from this small and colorful capital city. The first picture shows an sculpture next to the pond called Fjording. This amazing place allows people to enjoy of the most amazing views that Reykjavik had to offer. The second picture is about the Viking alphabet on a table in the Viking Museum near the pond. The next one is a small square in the neighborhood called downtown. The city, as you can see, is mainly designed with small, special and different colored houses. Another picture is about or show us the typical architecture. The next is about the harbor and the modern building called Harpa in the background of the picture. Harpa is the biggest concert hall for a range of concerts and cultural events. The next is another picture of the harbor with snow mountains in front of it. The menu of the Café Loki, the most touristic cafe in Reykjavik, where you can try the Icelandic food. An outdoor view of the Café Loki. And finally, you can see the Hallgrímskirkja. Is one of the Reykjavik most iconic buildings, and it is visible from almost anywhere in the city. There is an sculpture in front of it of the Viking Leifar Eriksson, who was the first European who arrived in America 500 years before Columbus. Visit to school. The next day, Thursday, my group visited another school called Námsflokkur Reykjavíkur Indung Antondóttir. This school is an example of giving a new opportunity to students to drop out the school or have personal problems. They have different programs. The first program is the Icelandic name is Starcraft 2. The meaning is the power of work. The target group is age from 16 to 19 years. The duration of the project is about 14 up until 16 weeks. It is a project executed in collaboration with the Department of Welfare of Reykjavik and the Minister of Education and Culture. The project is designed for young people who are not interested in academic learning and don't have a vocational history. This project is supposed to increase the participants' self-esteem, to inform them about the rights and obligations of the labor market, and to give them field working experience after they have received counseling. The group contained no more than 12 students. Other program is called Námskrafft 2, and the translation to English is the power of studying. This program is designed especially for young people aged from 16 to 24 years. What's unique about this project is that it combines the first module of the secondary school in arts and manual subjects, Islandia, philosophy and mathematical, along with intensive educational and vocational guidance and counseling. There are no more than 15 students per group. And there are other programs, other groups, for example, groups with former addict, women and men who had not been able to study or work and who need assistance to be active members of the society. They receive an education in mathematics, reading, writing, languages, philosophy, drama, music, painting, sewing, making jewelry of silver, cooking, dancing, climbing, growing vegetables, etc. They way to teach are varied, inside and outside. They go to libraries, theaters, museums, etc. The students receive a lot of counseling and often go to work for shorter periods of time as part of their education. Finally, they explain us that the students can go back to ordinary school, but they must pass an exam before. And most of them finally didn't finally do the exam. We can see some pictures about the classes. Field projects. Now we went to visit the National Museum. We could improve our knowledge about Ireland thanks to the visit to this museum. The picture shows part of the group waiting in the hall. A brief sample of pictures of the museum. The picture shows the settlement book. Islandic language has changed very little from the first settlers. The first settled language was Norse, and Islandic people are proud of being able to learn the book. This book describes in considerable detail the settlement of Ireland by the Norse in the 9th and 10th centuries. The pictures show a Viking skeleton from the first settlers. The next one is the typical Viking home where ancient people used to drink and not to be warm on their heads, as it is shown in many films. The next one shows Icelandic women fought for their rights. Pictures show that women used to work at the schools, but only until she got married, because their work was to look after their family. Fortunately, nowadays, Ireland is a modern country and women are as important as men. Icelandic society is used to having women in the jobs. And the next picture is about the independent father of Ireland. He was the pioneer of claiming the independence for Ireland in the 19th century. Ireland was a colony of Denmark for many centuries, and they didn't become independent until 1944. Most Icelandic people don't like to become part of the European Union, and this fact may be an important reason. They have not been independent for the majority of its history. The name of this important Icelandic character is John Sigurðsson, and there is a sculpture in front of the Iceland Parliament. On Wednesday, we went to know the environment of Ireland. The visit allowed us to learn about the following places called the Golden Cycle. thin-bellied, heiser, and gulfos. The first place which we visited was Pink Belly. It is a historical site for islanders because it was the first meeting point for treating issues among different groups of people. Many people think it was the first parliament. It was the chosen place to sign the Independence Declaration in 1944. This area has a special meaning for islanders.
Too warm.
The next stop was to see a touristic area with geysers. As you know, the geysers are hot springs. Some of them land water every 5 minutes, more or less. It was an incredible experience to have been able to enjoy this natural attraction. They are dangerous areas because the water is about 100 degrees. And finally, we could see the famous waterfall called Gulfos. The cold weather and wind was unbearable. It took a great effort to take off the glove to make some pictures or videos, but the environment was so nice that it was worth this effort. Finally, the course organization took up to see an old and extinct volcano. Its name was Kerry. We could walk inside it. Another interesting experience. The picture shows part of the group. It was time to go back to home, Reykjavik, and the environment surprised us with the spectacular views. Iceland definitely belongs to another different planet. Let's continue with the next day, Thursday. A school and a spot were waiting for us. The first stop was a visit to a school called Framhaldsskole Mosvelbacheggar. It was a secondary school without vocational training for students between 16 and 20 years. The main characteristics of their system are: they focus on the teaching on assignments-based and formative assessment. Another objective is creating learning community with dynamic interactions between teachers and students. Another is that teachers do not give long lectures. They interact with students and assist them with their assignments. The student and teacher interaction and the discussion in the classroom are very important. The students get constant feedback on their work. In formative assessment, the students get comments from the teacher, both oral and written. In addition, students use self-evaluation and peer evaluation, and classes outside classroom. It was surprising to see how the classrooms were almost empty and most students are in the corridors working. Very interesting experience. Some pictures about the school. They have some classes where they are not allowed any electronic devices. They are called discussion classes, and the objective is to treat general problems with the class or groups and for general explanations. The pictures show students working in groups and outside the classrooms in class hours. Teachers giving explanation and solving doubts to small groups. Now we are going to do an easy test. How many students can you see in the picture? Are they the same number of students that you normally have at your classes? Students have comfortable places to relax, to enjoy, to chat with their mates. Do you notice any difference with our school? And finally, the last picture is the teacher room. We can see a teacher who was one of the people responsible for teaching Spanish to students.
Meeting room?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Discussion room.
Discussion. We keep working, we keep doing it. And student responsibility of working constantly. And then there are good results as well. Yeah. But the aim is some of the students pointed out, okay, we would like to have more around research work. They were when they pick up the results.
After visiting the school, we had the opportunity to go and walk between the cracks that separate the American and the Euro-Asian tectonic plates. Next, we could enjoy with a thermal bath in Blue Lagoon. What do you think about this kind of activity? Our next and last visit was to the vocational training school called Techniskolling. They teach building and construction traders, electrical technology, general academic studies, handicraft, hair, gold and clothes, information technology, marine engineering, navigation, and flight academy. It is a state school, but it is directed by a foundation of several companies. The organization is a non-profit one based on a service contract with the Ministry of Education. Students only have to pay 200 euros per semester, and the state gives 7,000 euros per student. It is a credit-based system, and they also offer gymnasium studies for students who are interested in the university. Their methodologies are projects-based learning, no particular time schedule. The work based on projects allows students to do their activities as soon as they can do it, i.e., each student has their own individual progress. A new project is starting when the previous one is finished. Mentor program. Students from advanced courses help other students, showing them their projects. It is not compulsory, but students who participate improve their curriculum. Good atmosphere in classes and out. This picture shows the images of the students who will finish their study this year. The school pays a tribute to the future professionals. Wow, what a good idea! What are you able to see in this picture? He's the school headmaster. Wow, what beautiful slippers! This is an example of northern culture about using shoes inside buildings. The different groups went back to our base school to enjoy a delicious lunch and continue working. The next objective was to explain good practices in our schools to each other. It was the time to help us each other. Spaniards, Portuguese, Polish, Croatian, Greek, Italian, etc. And the last day arrived. On Saturday, we met in the base school. The portfolio made by everyone was the objective. We all had the opportunity to tell the rest of the European colleagues our learning during the week. First of all, the program director told us about how important it is to disseminate to our educational community and gave up some recommendations in order to be successful. For example, students communicate to students, colleagues, principal, headmaster, members of the school board, parent associations, members of the professional community, educational authorities, professional journals and websites, social media, radio, blogs, e-tuning, etc. After his presentation, we explained our portfolio is ordered. It was again the turn for European teachers, German, Estonian, Finnish, French, etc. The portfolio that I made is attached to this video.